Some people at one time asked me if I could just give a 45-minute talk, and 5 hours later I was still talking, so. Oh, absolutely, and the business model is service. Microsoft has a product model where they generate the software and they sell it as a product. Free software is a service model where you can pull down the software for free from the internet if you wish, but then the service is in tailoring the software exactly to what the customer's needs are. Once you receive the Microsoft product, you may want to have the service of receiving training, or the service of integrating that software into your business, or the service of getting patches or fixes for that software. All of those services exist in the free software model. It's just that we believe that once you've paid for the software one time, you shouldn't have to pay for the software over and over again. Actually, at one time, free software was the only way you got software. From the period of 1943 to about 1977, software was basically in the same model as a service, free software. It was only when PCs started to come out that the concept of binary shrink-wrap software came into being. And then all of a sudden, software stopped being owned by the people who bought it and started being owned by the companies who produced it. I believe that proprietary software is only something which will exist in a very short period of time. And as people understand the value of free software, that they will go back to that software model where you own the software and you can do what you want to with it. Oh yes, I believe that, because as the price of the hardware continues to drop, the software becomes a greater and greater cost of the software model. A lot of people pirate software, and they really don't understand how much that software would cost if they had to pay for it. If you take a look at buying, say, Microsoft Office as a package and then buying Photoshop and a series of other packages, you could easily spend $4,000 US on the software for your computer system. Free software says you can pull this software down off of the net absolutely free, and then pay to have changes made to it that you need to have changed for your business. If you can use the software as it exists, this will allow many more people to utilize computers legally. I would say, how could you run your country when you cannot count on your having your software available? I might ask your president, why are you using software that you have to spend so much money and send it outside of your country to some other country? Why shouldn't you be keeping that money inside of your own country and paying your local programmers to make changes to the software and creating local jobs for them? Do you have dialects inside of your country? You know, I know that you speak Spanish for the most part, but I think that there are some places inside of Spain where there are dialects. And it might be nice if these people could have the software in their own dialect. With free software, they can make that change if they want to. I might ask your president, does he feel comfortable putting software into his planes, his rockets, his tanks, his ships, that he hasn't seen the source code for it? And in time of war, he may not be able to get patches to that software. Not that the United States would ever put a Trojan horse into any software to spy on any of its friends. We would never do that. I see a problem coming up because we keep talking about the next billion computers. People in the Western world think the computers are every place. But in reality, there's only about 1 billion general purpose computers, desktops and servers in the world. There are 6.3 billion people, which means that 5.3 billion people do not have a computer system yet or access to the internet. We need to fix this problem, but we need to do it in a very intelligent way. Because if we give the normal desktop computer to these people, we're going to find that we're going to need about 1,500 hydroelectric dams the size of Itaipu in Brazil to be able to supply the power. We also have to recognize that these people do not have the training that the first billion people had. A lot of these people are going to need more help in maintaining their computer systems. So we have to do it in a way that it makes it very easy for these people to use the computers, like using a telephone. You don't have to think to use a telephone. You pick it up, dial the numbers, but behind the telephone is a very complex network that are maintained by very knowledgeable people. We need to be able to do that. People should have the choice of where they want to put their data and how they want to protect it. But they should have the ability to be able to know that there'll be somebody there to help them when they do.